Yeah. Okay, we are live now.
Next.
Okay, so we can begin, Harshit. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we are good to start. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Hey everyone, we are here in LinkedIn Live with Kalki and Krupa. So to speak about Kalki and Krupa, and before that, Bengaluru Dreamin. You guys all know about Bengaluru Dreamin already. So we have been presenting and we have been discussing about the NGO aspect of it, how we are trying to collaborate with uh, the inclusion of LGBTQ community, also the NGO support of for the SUKRUPA. That is, so we have already spoken about SUKRUPA many times. So SUKRUPA is an NGO that supports children's education, especially girl child's education. So Krupalatha that you see here is the one who's handling it from 25 years. We are honored to have you, Krupa, here with us, and
Thank you, Akshay.
thank you. And Kalki, we see here, is someone who don't need much introduction with respect to this. And she's been an activist and have been giving speaker sessions all across the globe. She's an artist. She's a writer. She's been acted in a movie, and I saw the movie yesterday. You have done extremely well, Kalki. So I was happy to see you there. And so to give a proper introduction about Kalki, Kalki Subramaniam is a prominent Indian transgender activist, artist, entrepreneur, poet, actor, and inspirational speaker. She's a member of National Council of Trans Persons in India and founded the Sahodari Foundation, which empowers the transgender community through innovative projects. Born in Pollachi, Tamil Nadu, Kalki has advocated for transgender rights extensively, contributing to the landmark 2014 Supreme Court decision recognizing transgender civil rights in India. She has spoken over a million students and received numerous awards for her social work and artistic contributions. Kalki's poetry, notably her Tamil collection Kuriyarutten, addresses theme of misogyny and patriarchy. She debuted in a film with Nartaki, becoming the first transgender lead actor in a major Indian motion picture. Recognized globally, she was named one of Facebook's 12 inspiring women in 2015 and was nominated as L'Oreal Paris India's Woman of Worth in 2016. Her vibrant paintings celebrate human and natural diversity, and she has touched North America and Europe to share her art and stories of Indian transgender and queer community. Kalki also educates the corporate world on LGBT inclusion through sensitization sessions and workshops, having spoken at numerous Fortune 500 companies. So this is Kalki's a proper introduction. We are honored to have you with us, Kalki, here in today's LinkedIn Live.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akshay. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Thank you, Kalki. Thank you. So to speak about Krupalatha, we have seen Krupa many times before also in our Salesforce ecosystem in our events. So Krupalatha Martin Das, a trailblazer in education for first generation learners, she transformed her family's goodwill into SUKRUPA, a non-profit dedicated to providing underprivileged children with enriching education opportunities for 25 years. Krupa left a lucrative career in US, invested her savings, and designed impactful programs like Suvidha Sukal and Sujana Visas to equip children and their families with life skills. Graduates returning to contribute to Sukrupa's mission highlights its success. Krupa's work has been recognized by prestigious platforms such as Public Relations Council of India and Times of India, where she was top 25 lead India nominee. She was also the first runner-up in Mrs. USA Internationals 2018 and 2019. Krupa is a beacon of wellness, inspiring youth through fitness and vibrant living. She excels in modern design, modernizing natural fiber clothing. Today, she operates Sukrupa from Bay Area, working closely with India. Her extraordinary childhood, influenced by her parents' advocacy for education, laid the foundation for her mission to uplift society through education. Join us in welcoming the dedicated and vibrant Krupalatha Martin Das with us in this LinkedIn Live.
Thank you very much, Akshay. I'm very
So,
happy to be here. And hi, Kalki. Great to join you in conversation.
Hi.
And I'm looking forward to what
Yes.
we have to unfold today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you from our end for you
Absolutely.
both to making time and join us in this. So I'll start the questions with Kalki. So let's start our discussion with Kalki. I have few questions for you, Kalki. So I'll start speaking about it. So please let me know um, if you want to chime in and answer anything. So my first question for you, Kalki, can you share your personal journey with us? So how this all started and what all led to this where you are to the place where you are. Can you please share that with us? Uh, Kalki, can you hear us? Yeah.
Only now I'm able to hear you. I think there was a latency, I think, so I was not able to hear you.
Okay. Okay. I'll repeat my question,
Hello?
Kalki. So, yeah, can you
Are
hear
you
us?
able
Can
to
you hear
hear
us?
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear us, Kalki?
Yes, now I can. Yes.
Okay, great, great. So I was asking, can you please share your personal journey with us? How this all started and how you are at the place you are right now? Can you please share that personal journey with us?
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Kalki. We are able to hear you.
Okay. Okay, great. Could you please repeat the question because there was some
Sure,
problem
sure,
with the
no problem.
network?
No problem, Kalki. So I was asking, can you share your personal journey with us? Where you started and where you are right now? Can you please share that with us?
Thank you. Thank you for asking that. I actually come from a very small, beautiful town near Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, called Pollachi. It's very much near the Kerala border. So it's a very beautiful town with, water, rivers, springs, waterfalls, paddy fields, and such a beautiful place. So my father was into transport business. My mother was into home management, and I had a elder sister and a younger sister, and I was the only male child. So I came out to my parents as a trans child when I was like 13 years old. So at that time, I had nobody to guide me. The psychiatrists or the counselors or doctors, nobody was aware of it. Nobody was sensitized on it. So it was very, very difficult. And I had to go through severe bullying at school and college, and sometimes in the public also, because of my femininity and being a boy, and then expressing my gender expression feminine. So all transgender or gender non-conforming children go through this kind of tormenting life, and complexities, of course. But it is something that exists outside us mostly, how people perceive us. What affects more is the bullying, is what that really affects. So after I came out to my parents, life was much more better. I was safe. So that's what it is. I mean, difference. If my family had not accepted me, I don't think I would even be living at all. So family inclusion means everything.
That's an inspirational journey that you have, Kalki. So coming from that place and being here, inspiring so many people and guiding them with the life experience that you have is something phenomenal. So we are proud about that, and
Thank
we're
you.
happy to hear all that. So then my next question to you is,
Thank
Kalki.
you.
I know you're an artistic person. You write a lot of poetry. You draw a lot. You paint a
Yes.
lot. So your
Yeah.
work is phenomenal. I've seen that in your
Yes.
website. Guys, if you have not checked Kalki's website, please go ahead and check her work. Work is extremely beautiful. So, how art has helped you in your self-expression and in influencing other people, Kalki, with respect to whatever you are doing? So how art has helped you and in influencing
Thank
others?
you for asking that question. Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. I think it's a very important question because for me personally, when I was bullied at school, I used to run away to colleges, universities, run away to forests and parks and to places where there were nobody, no humans were there. I used to run to those places, sit under the trees, and then take a pen and a paper. And I used to visualize myself um, by drawing on a pencil with a pencil and a paper. I used to visualize my future, like how I wanted to be. So that really helped me to heal myself. But what really healed myself as a teenager was um, the poetry that I wrote, because I was able to express my agony, my pain. Even though my teenage life was very difficult, I would say art and poetry has helped me so much to
That's nice to hear, Kalki. So
yeah. I
I
hope
being
you
the
were able to
person.
hear me.
Yes, I was able to hear you. So, any art or poetry, any art
Okay,
form it might be, it is all about self-expression, right? So, I'm sure it has helped you a lot. At any point of time,
absolutely.
the art that you're doing and the poetry that you're writing is an extension of you and you expressing yourself. We all know that the greatest art and the greatest piece of art comes out of agony and pain. So, when person in pain creates a lot of beautiful art, I can see that. So thank you for answering that.
So much.
And
Like how Van Gogh's artists,
I
Van
resonate
Gogh
with
and
you on
Frida
that.
Kahlo were examples of it.
Yes, Franz Kafka
Yeah.
maybe, Frida Kahlo maybe. I saw the Frida Kahlo image that you have drawn, the painting of Frida Kahlo, and it's extremely beautiful. So thank you for answering that.
Thank you.
That helped you in helped us in understanding you more and more. So my next question to you was,
Thank you.
what are your primary goals of your activism, and what changes do you hope to see in the society that exists now?
Okay. My primary goal is inclusion and equality. That is my primary goal, especially with the transgender community. I've seen right from my childhood, right from my age 11 and 12, the friends I had from the trans community, how they were abandoned by their families, thrown out of their homes, and lost their education, bullied at school, and how they had to migrate to another place, and how they became beggars and sex workers, and many of them actually today are living with HIV. So, what a tormenting, horrible life just because of being a trans person. So, that made me so angry. My activism is born out of that anger, of all the experiences that I had myself, and especially from my friends and other people, trans community, how we were treated. So, that is how my activism is born out of. So, for my activism, I would say inclusion is the most important thing for trans people. Inclusion at home, instead of rejecting, include us at home. Instead of bullying, accept us at school. Instead of discriminating, make sure that we live in a very gender neutral, gender friendly, trans friendly. We work in a trans friendly environment at workplace. All this thing counts, and inclusion is the key word and the most important thing for transgender people and also differently able disabled people as well. And equality, when I say equality, it means that even if when you accept transgender community persons in your workplace and elsewhere, don't create it as a sympathetic gesture, because we have to be treated as equal as anybody else in the workplace. Like if you're giving a job for transgender person just because you're sympathizing with them, and you're giving 10,000 to them, and then the same job you're giving 25,000 to another person, doesn't make sense. That's not equality, that's not inclusion. So at all levels, inclusion should happen with equality, equal opportunities. That's what I am, right from home, right in the academic institutions, right in the workplace, and in public policies everywhere. Inclusion means equal opportunities and dignity.
Thank you for answering that,
That's
Kalki.
the core of my
So
activism.
yeah, I got that. So I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. So we, as civilians, as we move
Yeah,
around
yeah,
and we see how they are being treated regularly, so that needs to change. So your activism is helping in bringing that change a lot.
yeah.
So
That's true.
do you think from the period that you faced until now, anything with respect to this has changed, or any change have been created in the country by constant, because we see the shift in the mindset of people from that period to this period with respect to many things, right? So do you think any such changes has occurred in the
Yes, of
society
course.
right?
Oh, there's a lot of changes, of course. There's so much of changes now. I mean, previously, for example, one example I would say is that movies actually represent our society. It reflects our societies. Bollywood, or Sandalwood, Tollywood, Mollywood, Hollywood, all the film industries in India. When I talk about Indian film industry, it's not just Bollywood. So it's all, everyone, pan India. Previously, when we talk about transgender, the representation of transgender people in movies and even in advertisements and everything, commercials, was horrible. It was wrong. It was way. It was all so horrible and not right. It was damaging our reputation. It was damaging our life and everything. We cannot see with our parents and friends. We will not be able to see a movie because you don't know in which scene they'll ridicule Hijra community, they'll ridicule transgender person, they'll ridicule a gender neutral person. I think that changed because of our activism, the relentless activism. People like me, Gauri Sawant, Lakshmi, and Priya, and lot many people, Simran and Amrita, and lot of us, many of us, Zainab, we have done so much of work for inclusion across India. So our work is the result of how even Bollywood treats our community, and from there to corporate, how inclusion has happened and how the court has recognized us, and how opportunities are open in the central government jobs and recruitments and all that. So that is the result, I would say. So much has changed, but yet so much has to happen as well. Yes, the fight is on, the battle is ongoing for equality and dignity.
Yeah, happy to hear how far we have come with respect to that, Kalki. As there is a saying, right? The one who sows a seed
Yeah.
and cares for it, even though he knows that, or he or she knows that they'll not be able to sit under the shadow of it, is the one who have understood life. So I can see you doing that. All your community people, the
Yes,
ones who have
totally.
mentioned, who you just mentioned, is doing that. It's a honorable thing. I'm very happy to hear that. So the next question that I have for
Thank
you
you.
is, what misconceptions about transgender people do you encounter most frequently, and how do you address them? Do you think the situation is different in India compared to abroad? If yes, what do you think needs to change in India?
I think what needs to change in India is um, the misconceptions and superstitious beliefs that are, and especially transphobia uh, and gender inequality that is so strong in our country. Patriarchy is so strong in our country. A society that respects a woman here will also respect transgender people. That is, a society that respects cisgender people will also respect transgender people. Gender equality, wherever there is gender equality, transgender people will be respected. I expect our country is so special and diverse, and there's no country like India. I've been to many countries in around the world, many countries in Europe, and to Canada and to US, many parts of US and all that. But there is no place as safe as India for transgender people. And I'm very comfortable and so confident in saying that, because even though sometimes, at many times, you're rejected by your family, the other transgender people are there to support you. And that family system itself is a supportive system, of course. Still, there are issues with that also, but I'm telling you, that system has helped our community to empower in whatever ways it is. It has helped our community to empower. So, in that way, I think Indian transgender community and our culture and everything is very, very special, of course. So, the way forward, what I expect is family inclusion and equal jobs, reservation for transgender people in education and also in employment. When I talk about reservation, it is uh, horizontal reservation as well. It's horizontal reservation. So that is what I've been expecting on a long term, yes. And also corporate, when companies provide jobs, it should not be just a job. It should be equal opportunities, looking beyond gender, acknowledging the talent, and giving leadership positions and all that. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you for answering that. So, my next question to you is: how can educational institutions better support transgender student and staff? Because we understand. See, I being a person, I started conversing with transgender people at when I was in sixth standard, seventh standard. They commonly used to come. Okay, we lost Kalki, I guess. Okay, so I guess, yeah,
Coming.
she's doing it again.
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, Kalki.
Sorry. This is
Better view.
much better, and I think you will be able to hear properly.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
So,
great. Yes.
yeah. So, my next question to you was: how can educational institutions better support transgender students and staff? Because I personally, speaking of my experience, I started communicating with the transgender people when I was in fifth standard. So, they used
Okay.
to come near our shops. So, I used to speak with them. I used to have a conversation with them because my parents allowed me to speak with them without any hesitation or prejudices. So we used to have a normal conversation always, and they used to love me for that conversation that we always had. It used to be common. So if the stigma that exists in the society has to go away, that have to start with the home, that have to start with how parents educate their students. Because in the end, the educational societies, it might be teachers or parents, they create the stigma that exists right now. That is where, because nobody is born that way, nobody understands how to respect someone, we create that. So I want to understand how educational institutions can incorporate that kind of inclusiveness. What should they be doing according to you?
Educational institutions in India are not even have started, I would say, very little actually. One is some of the cream schools of India have actually started work on inclusion. And some governments also have done. For example, the Tamil Nadu government has in certain classrooms, and supplements. They do have education curriculum on transgender people, but it's not extensive as such. There is so much to be done. When we talk about how our children should be educated, our children should be educated to see a person beyond their appearances, beyond their gender, beyond their caste and religion and all that. That is the most important basic on that. And especially when it comes to assigning gender roles. For example, a man is superior, a woman is not so superior, and transgender people are inferior. These are all taught sometimes by our own families through different cultural practices and systems and all that. Children need to be taught to respect everyone equally: men, women, trans people, non binary, gender non conforming persons, everyone. They need to be. I think that is the most important uh, core thing about education. Education is means that you understand a person, acknowledge their being, accept them as they are, and give them their space and coexist. That's what it is. But unfortunately, in our education system, we don't do it. So, coming back to what should be done at school, I think children should be taught in a way that they can understand right from their childhood about respecting everyone in spite of gender. I wouldn't even say teach them about transgender people. No, I would say teach them about respecting anybody, irrespective of their gender and sexuality and appearance and skin color and everything. That needs to be taught, and that is where it starts. For example, also, when a boy is feminine, a girl is masculine, they go through a lot of bullying at school. Even our teachers have to be taught first. Educating the educators is one of the most important things. It's not only in schools, but also in B.Ed colleges, M.Ed colleges, that is Master of Education, Bachelor of Education, teacher training colleges. All of them have to teach gender, gender variance, gender equality, gender balance. Yeah, that is the way how it should be done in schools.
Thank you for answering that such eloquent way,
You're welcome.
Kalki. And my next question is: how do you see the transgender right movement evolving in the next decade, particularly in India?
How do I see transgender rights movement?
Yeah, in the
I
next
think
decade.
uh, I think for the past in the past 25 years we have achieved some very good milestones. But one thing we are still struggling is inclusivity, inclusion at home, um, equality at workplace, more opportunities for our community with authentic, um, you know, in leadership positions and support and all that. There are a lot of opportunities available, I know, but much of these opportunities are also coming out of sympathy, not out of empathy and understanding. So that has to go away. Uh, Opportunities and inclusion in families and in workplace and in academics should not be with sympathy and for namesake or tokenism. It should be genuine, it should be authentic, it should be uh, visionary, it should be coming from your heart, it should be humanistic. That is what I see in India. But I'm very, very positive in our country. Trans people have a very, very good future, at least after 10 years, definitely. In
Nice to
many
hear that.
leadership positions and as well as in politics, you will see
Yeah.
an MLA or an MP in another 5 to 10 years, and the community will grow. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So we've been seeing those examples very recently. So I've been hearing about it. Yeah, so I completely agree with whatever you're saying.
Thank
So
you.
my last question for you, Kalki. So if
Yes.
someone from the LGBTQ community is trying to
Yes.
find a way, because we just spoke about the inclusiveness part of it, is just trying to find a way and feeling helpless because they are not
Yeah.
being included. Because at the tender age of 13 or 14, when they can't understand what's happening to them, so that inclusiveness part comes in and they're not able to understand what's happening to them, So, what message do you want to share to them with the wider community about transgender issues and rights, even for the ones that are going through or the ones who are surrounding them and watching them going through that? So, what do you want to say to them?
My message to them is hope. There's a lot of hope. There is future. There is light at the end of tunnel. There's doors open, and these doors are for a better life. People who feel themselves that not sure about their gender expression or think they are transgender persons do not have to fear, because what I faced as a teenager, nobody faces it now. There's so much of help out that is available online. People like me, the activists, are there to guide. When you come out as a transgender, uh, of course, the school is a problem, but still, many schools are many schools are slowly accepting trans students, and colleges are beginning to accept. Universities are open for transgender students. Workplaces, especially corporate companies, are welcoming with the red carpet the transgender community. So the future is bright. You don't have to feel uncomfortable or afraid of being a trans person, transgender person. Just be yourself, just be your authentic self. But one thing is sure, you need to educate yourself, you need to constantly be knowledgeable, update yourself, be smart, um, educate yourself smart, go for knowledge, go for being bold, go for go for compassion, and go for honesty. And I think definitely these are the keys, not just for transgender people, but for anybody to be successful and bold and, to lead a better future. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Kalki. So you said that at the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So this
Yeah.
conversation that we just had could be that. So if at all someone is
Totally.
watching
Yes.
this LinkedIn live and they have the
Yeah.
people or someone around them who are going through this, probably they can share this message of yours with them, and that can be the hope that you're speaking about.
Yes, it's not only for transgender people that I'm saying. I'm talking about gay people. I'm talking about lesbian, bisexual, gender queer, gender non-binary, everyone who is going through identity crisis or struggles at their struggles with their gender expression or sexuality. I am sending lots of hope, and I would say that you definitely have a better life, and my best
Thank,
wishes.
thank you so much for that message,
You're
Kalki.
welcome.
So, so that those were the questions that I had for you. So now I'll go to Krupa. So Krupa, I'm coming to you now. So likewise, I asked for Kalki Krupa. We already know your journey. I mean, I personally know your journey. We have had that conversation. We had come to Sukrupa. We met personally, and that was a wonderful place to be. That was a wonderful conversation to have. So Krupa, can you please share your personal experience or journey with us, how it all started, and wherever you are now, how did you end up here? So, can you please speak about that?
Thank you, Akshay. First of all, I would like to take few minutes, like just couple minutes, to congratulate Kalki. I'm yet to meet her, but I'm so happy to, join. That she's here. Thank you,
Thank
Kalki,
you
for
so
sharing
much.
so
Thank you,
beautifully every
Krupa.
word that you did, and I really hope a lot more success in your journey. And looking forward to meeting you. Hopefully, I'll see you next week,
I
Saturday.
hope so. Thank you
Thank
very much. Thank you.
so inspiring, and what we have gone through as children, and now what it is, it's a lot of difference that your activism has made, and for the days to come. Thank you. So
Thank
Akshay,
you.
for your question, I am from Bangalore. I'm a Bangalore girl, and I grew up in a neighborhood called Magadi Road. And Magadi Road is very close to my heart. That is where I was born, and my parents were one of the educated people in that neighborhood in the 70s. And Margaret Road had a lot of small scale industries, silk factory, steel factory, agarbatti factory. And most of the time, people who migrated from different places, especially from Tamil Nadu, they would be working, both husband and wife, they would be working in these factories because they came to Bangalore to make something from their life, right? And so during that time, if the children are sent to school, if the child doesn't do the homework, they don't want to go to the school the next day because they would be afraid of getting caned or beaten in the school, so they would drop out. And when they come to the house in the evening, like they'll be playing. As soon as they come back from school, they'll forget about homework. There won't be much to eat also. And then when I was about 3 years old, I was able to read and write. So my mom, she had taught me to read and write. I could read Kannada very fluently. I was reading Chandamama. I would tell stories to people and children. And so some of my neighbors, they started bringing their children to my house so their children can study. So I was always a leader. I would write their names, and we had about, when I was 3 years old, there were 6 children at home studying along with me, and somebody was there to fill water in my house, and that uh, uh, you know Hanmanta was about sixth grade or something like that. I was reading his book, and so we had like very nice memory as a child. So my father used to have he worked in HAL, and he had used to have night shifts. Early morning at 6 o'clock, we would have like 4 or 5 boys come home, and my dad would sit and teach them. And after 3 months, they would come with a box of sweets. So that means they had failed 10th grade, and my dad teaching them every day for 3 months, they would finish their 10th grade. And beyond that, my dad would take them to different public sector companies and get them an apprenticeship. So once you have a apprenticeship in a public sector company, and then you join those, factories like HAL or BHEL, BEL, their life is made. So year after year, for so many many years, we used to have these 3 or 4 boys who would come to our house and they would study. And one side, my mom used to teach all of these children coming home. My mom's mom was a teacher, and my mom was a passionate teacher, and decided to be a homemaker. And growing up, as we had all of these children, and to avoid my mom would bring these children to the house, give them something to eat, and teach them. And so this was a beautiful childhood. It is like extraordinary childhood, I have to say. Both my parents advocated for education early on. And at some point, when I was in 8th grade, I was teaching 7th grade, and my brother was in 6th grade. We have 2 years different, my brother Satya. So he used to teach 5th grade. And at one point, when I was in college, we had 150 kids come home to study. So we used to run these after school tuitions, and we had 150, and most of them were factory workers. So any conversation we used to have at home, it was all about education. And then, unfortunately, the neighborhood that we lived, there was a arak shop. So there was a alcohol shop. So most of the men would be like kind of drunk. It was very difficult neighborhood that we grew up with. Very harsh neighborhood. But then, because of our family, so many children got educated. And when I was about 5th grade, my dad taught me to fill applications, money order applications, for me and my brother. What my dad used to do, something very amazing. And we never used to complain, like we had so much of respect for our parents. And every year after I finished the exam, like final exam you finish, very promptly my dad used to bring textbooks for the next year. So everybody would be happy figuring out summer holidays where they are going for a vacation. Here, my dad would bring the whole book. And then during summer, my brother and I, we would finish every day very systematically for 2 hours. We would do math or study. And by the end of summer, we would have finished almost all the lessons, whatever we had to. And then when we go to the school, we used to be like, we have already studied, so we would be teaching our friends. And so the peer-to-peer learning in the school would happen, and when you come home we have so many children. So it's because we used to study during summer, it would be easier for us to teach the other children. And then we became like inspiration for many kids. Our family was inspirational. If you say Martin Dass's children, it was like looked upon. And that's how my childhood was, extraordinary childhood. And I was saying how my dad taught me how to fill out applications. And he introduced me, when I was in sixth grade, he introduced me to the bank manager. My mom would get jobs for the women who were battered women, and sometimes in the middle of the night they would be beaten up, and if there was any little money left, the husband would take it and uh, use it for, they would waste the money. So any little money they had, they should save it. So my dad introduced me to the bank manager, and my mom would get jobs for these women, right? And whatever the money they would keep, my dad told the bank manager, if my dad, because some my dad used to have day shift, if my daughter is coming, help these ladies to open the bank account. So I would be sitting in the bank managers with my two pigtails and filling the application for the ladies to open bank account. And those are the days that I cannot, so such a joyous days, right? Like, it was very beautiful. So many women have been saved, and now their children are doing really well. So that is like a family legacy that we kind of carried forward, right? And so Margadi Road has enriched my life. And however, what used to happen is, sometimes that, especially the boys, when they are teenagers, their whole track direction changes. So uh, so lot of them, not lot of them, most of them would drop out of school, not study, end up getting some job, or really end up having really bad life. And sometimes they couldn't face life, they would kill themselves. And I have seen some of my schoolmates and classmates going through some rough times, and it really affected me a lot, and my neighbors also. And it's very difficult, like, and the families are big, to have probably one boy, they would have five girls, and it was very common in those days. So that was a very difficult to see. And that is a kind of a background I grew up. Afterwards, I finished my college and I went off to US. I was in granite industry and I went off to US. But when I was 16 years old, I saw one of my classmates in a very bad shape, and it affected me a lot. When I asked some of my friends, then they said, his father was a uh, pushcart vendor, mother was domestic help, six children at home. And this friend of mine was very good in maths. I couldn't have imagined any other way. At least he could have been a maths teacher. I have learned maths from him. Somebody's beautiful life being ruined, it affected me a lot. And I said, when I earn money, when I retire, probably I will have a boys' home. So nobody should be left behind. They all have to live good life. I just put up that thought. And then also another thing that happened, one of our classmates, right, my classmate, father was very sick. So my brother and I, we were at home, and he came home, and he said he was trying to collect money from everybody. We knew his father was sick and he had to go through a surgery. So my brother and I, we just kind of went into the room. He wanted some money, and then we said we can't give so much money. We went inside, and then my brother and I, we had saved some money. Back in those days, we used to have those clay piggy bank kind of
Yeah.
things where you save. So we broke it, and we had about 2,500 when we were about 16 years old. And we sent that money, we gave that money. You said, you don't need to return it, this is all we can give now. And he took that and he left. And after that, my brother and I, we sat and we had this conversation. At one point, if we can get, if God can give us, when we have job and we have to open a separate bank account and help children. We are just children, right? So open a separate bank account, help people who are really in need, genuine people, right? Sometimes the spoken words are so powerful.
Yeah.
So,
True.
and then I went off to US, I forgot. And when I was there, and I realized how, I'm able to live a life all because of education and the upbringing of my parents. And I was always wanted to, like, then I just felt, if this kind of opportunity that my parents educated me and so many other children, if that opportunity is given, anybody can do whatever I was doing, or they can live better life. So end of the day, it is better future. So I came on vacation in 2001, 2002 to Bangalore. And then I started the organization SUKRUPA along with my mom. And now it's almost a 25-year-old organization. Uh, it's like, sometimes I say it's like my breath. You eat, sleep, and breathe Sukrupa, so it's like that. But the kind of time I have given, the kind of support I have received from the family, it's kind of enriched all our experiences. And education is the key to better future. So that is how my childhood is enriched. And here I am having a conversation with you. Would I have imagined it when I was a kid? No, I was not. So this is beautiful.
I've
So
seen that passion in your eyes, Kripa, when we have been there, and I've seen
thank,
we have seen how many lives have been changed with through Sukrupa, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing
thank
to
you,
witness.
thank you.
So thank you for sharing your journey with us. So my second question to you is, um, what are the main objectives of your NGO? So, and how are you working towards achieving them? So, we wanted to understand that from your.
So we are a development organization. We are into community development. Very interestingly, we have focused on the grassroots level. We are working with uh, migrant workers, children, and the community, the parents and the community as a whole, through the children's education to the family, and from the family to the community. So having this, uh, it's for us, it's education and women empowerment. And for men, through the parents' counseling, parents' meetings, we ensure that the children are continuing studies, because always the challenge in this community is, in this kind of community, when people are migrating from one place to another looking for job, high school dropout is very high. So how do you retain them in the school? So that is one of the things. So you have to make your program very, for us, Sukrupa is not a program. It's creating futures. It's creating future for the child, better future. So it has to be interesting and exciting for the child to come, and for the parents to feel safe for them to send the children to the school. And initially, what when we worked with the community, children were child laborers. So we took the child laborers, school dropout kids. The school dropout was about 85%. Only 15% of the community was going to school. And in 2002, probably so most of the people, when they come, when they are migrant workers, either the women will take up a domestic work job or men would take up construction work. So the back then, the income that they would have was very less. And I have seen people, the women taking worms out of rice, washing that rice and cooking. So food was very like a big aspect of what we did. So when we started the organization with the focus, children have to be well fed, and so they are not hungry. So if they are not hungry, they can study, but before studying they have to be happy. So you have to understand the community at the grassroots level. So our objective is, from the grassroots level, how do you take these children and help them to move into the direction, for the better future. It's like through education, creativity, art. Like now, just now, we, how Kalki was mentioning, poetry and art was the way she was expressing. So for our children, it is drum beats. So they have to dance, they have to create art and music. Dance and music is part of everybody's life. So we created that. And how do you ensure they go to college? Initially, if you finish 10th standard, it is like having a degree for them, right? So they have finished like a UG. But now, so taking the children from there, so we started as an after school program initially. From after school program, in 2008, we integrated into the school program. So for us, food is a main part. Nutritious lunch, nutritious meals. Anytime children are here, they have to be given very good food. That is very, very important, because parents are still working as construction workers and domestic help, and still education is not the high priority. Even though the economy is changing, Bangalore has become a IT hub. Construction has taken a different level. Still, the people, it's very difficult for them to send them. to school, given a chance, they would take them out. And another challenge that we faced is a child marriage. So how do we tackle, especially girls at 12, when they become mothers? It's neither good for their body or emotionally. We have seen lot of girls, lot of women who have 4 children and they are not even 30 years old.
Wow.
And by 40 the husband passes away, and all the burden is on one woman, and the dropout rate is very high again. So how do we encourage all these girls to finish school, college, and become better mothers? Like, when they, I mean, mothers are better, but then how can they, if they finish college and they get married, they can be better at what they are doing, they can educate their children, and it is better on their body and mind both are prepared to bear a child. But when they are 12, 13, it is very difficult. So these are some of the challenges we have tried to, and of course poverty through food. So these are our main pillars, right? And how do we encourage all the children? Through creativity. And if you saw the college students, how happy they were our alumni. But if you come to school, if you see the happy face of the children. So school is a safe and happy place for them. So parents are working late hours. So our school not only has school program, we also have a very powerful after school program where the children enjoy. As much as we say they have to study, they have to score marks in this whole process, they forget to play. So some of our teachers, they always resist, madam, the children have to, they have to write exam, they have to write test, but always I'll say give extra time for the children to play. So now we have extended our school hours also to 5:30, where we can create the 2 hours where children can just immerse themselves in playing. So when they play, they become happy, and it is better for them to focus on the studies. So that is part of our. So we have Suvidya, which is our school program, Sukalpa, our after school program, Sumarga Darshak is a college program. We have about 60 students studying in colleges, about 40 girls are studying in Mount Carmel, and
Wow.
some of these best colleges, right? St. Joseph's, MES, Christ College. So these are the colleges. So it just feels like a very good combination going from Sukrupa to studying in these colleges, and hopefully they all get dream jobs. We also work a lot on children's passion. If they are into music or art, we help them to learn, and we also bring resource people to train our children in a lot of creativity, because all our children can stand up on the stage and speak. So that is what we need these days, that confidence. And English was like the foundation for everybody. And so English kind of transforms, gives an attitude, and they are able to be successful. So those are the elements of what are, you know, I don't know if I answered in order, but that is what Sukrupa has been doing for the last 25 years.
Yeah, we have understood that. So we know, right? These are all first generation learners. So
First
just by
generation.
educating them, you are allowing their next generation to not suffer the way they have suffered, not go through life the way they have gone through it. So just by doing this, you're removing the curse of generational curse altogether.
Yeah, in one generation, the life transformation is happening. We are
That is
creating an identity for them. They can, when they stand up, they can, when they speak in like that, the confidence, when they speak in English and when they are shoulder to shoulder, nobody is going to, you can't even make the difference where they are from. It doesn't even matter, because education has transformed. It's created that better future for them. So when you see that, it's like it makes me so happy. Every child has a dream. When their dream is achieved, it's my success. So it's Krupa's success. So I feel
true.
really happy. Yeah.
True, true. We've heard how they praise you for that, and
Yeah.
it's very wonderful to be there and witness that.
It's not only
So
for the children, it's for the family. We kind of support the family, support the parents, support the mothers in their during their health issues or anything. So Sukrupa has become a very like a big family, close knit family, and I feel very happy and proud. So for that.
I understand that aspect of
Yeah.
it. Thanks for answering that. So the next question is, what advice would you give to someone looking to get involved in advocating something like Sukrupa right now? So if they want to start, because the situation when you started it was different, and the situation right now is different. So what do you want to say to them?
So right now we need a lot more volunteering to happen, because every volunteer when they come, every interaction that the child can have can create an impact on the child. So we need more people to come and volunteer, become ambassadors, tell the story, because very interestingly we have been immersed in creating all the programs for the children and building the organization it is taken. So to get the children from preschool to 10th grade and to finish the college is the entire life cycle of a child. So we have kind of I have personally immersed, as a founder, immersed, I have put my own personal money and I started the organization. We have few donors, few CSR partners. However, to take this to the next step and to create the same better future for next generation, we need more hands to come together, become ambassadors. And if there are any like more organizations, CSR, we are looking for more CSR partners as well to collaborate. And to we are in Bangalore, people can come and visit and work with the children, mentor the college students, and wherever the guidance that can happen. So those are the invitations that I have today for viewers, because that is one of the challenge. We are like tucked in one small corner in Nagar, in a very small neighborhood and one school. And now more people have come in 25 years. Don't you want to expand? And now I can proudly say, yes, we are ready to expand. We are ready to grow. We are ready to go pan India. We are going to, have a after school program in Jaipur, Hyderabad, and Dharmapuri. And so there are a lot of needs, especially in the north for the girl children. And with English, you can transform life with English language, and that confidence that we are able to bring. So that is what Sukrupa has been creating. So we need more people, more people to join hands with us to make this cause a success.
That's
More
wonderful.
dreams, to make more dreams to come true.
I understand. That's wonderful. So, said that, my another question for you is, what are your, because we had been to your place, we had been there, we saw your clothing line Artha. So you support the sustainability part of it. So what are your thoughts on sustainability, and can you please speak about Artha, the thing, the manufacturing that you have?
So Artha as a company is like, how can I add more meaning to what I'm doing? Is the baby Artha is born. So Artha is part of Sujana Vikas, where the women are trained and empowered to create clothing or embroidery. We used to make like environment friendly candles, beeswax candles. So these are the things that we were making, and mostly always my uh, I always are drawn towards natural fibers like cotton, silk, wool, linen. So personally, I have seen the benefits for many years, and it's not just the sustainability. It's not one part of it is the clothing, and food is also in the same way. We have to eat natural food, not chemicals. In the same way, I become an advocate for natural food and yoga and wellness. And clothing is also like that, because the more you wear polyester, it kind of impacts the skin, it burns the skin. So it is good for us to wear cotton. And we have in our country like India, it's like so much abundance of handmade fabrics are available. Mangalgiri cotton, ikat, and we are our clothing is made ajrak print, bagru print. Now, so these are the cotton fabric, ilkal cotton. So these are the fabric that we are using, and we are making garments out of it. And so we are trying to promote that. And because this is one of this sustainability on many levels, it is made by the women from the grassroots level, some of the parents of the children. So they are the ones who are making through our program Sujana Vikas. And the garment, when we promote the government, a part of the profit will be brought to Sukrupa to educate the children. So, and it's like a full circle. So women are empowered, and through their empowerment, the children are also educated. So I just feel through this with Artha, and our garment line is called, clothing line is called Nool. Nool in Tamil means thread. So I feel like, my one saying is, if you have like a string of thread, you can fly high. If you can hold it tight, you can fly high. So in Tamil, you say, "Oru noola pudichi aagaithu keralam." So you can fly high in the sky. So for that, nool is a thread, and thread is like part of the fabric. So we are going to name our clothing line Nool. So we are ready to launch, and I'm looking forward for all that is there to come to us in next coming days.
That's great. That's great, Kripa. So, whatever you are doing right now for the kids, you've been educating, and whatever life that you're giving to them, it's invaluable. We actually are proud to be associated with you and collaborate with you, have this conversation with you. So again, Krupa will be at Bengaluru Dreamin, guys. So if you want to go and speak with Krupa, please go ahead and do it. She's an extremely interesting personality, and there is a lot to learn from her, and there's a lot to share from her end also. So these are the questions that I had for you, Krupa. Now, so thank you for joining this LinkedIn Live. Thank you for answering all these questions, and I hope and wish to see you at the Bengaluru Dreamin. So, if at all you want to say some words before we end the sessions, please you can.
Satyameva Jayate. Truth will always win. That is my favorite saying. And the other saying to continue with that is, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, crawl. If you can't crawl, if you can't walk, you crawl. Whatever you do, keep moving forward and speak the truth. Have integrity. It will help you reach your dream.
Thank
That's
you,
one
thank you,
thing that it has helped me to be where I am. And I know if anybody embraces it, it will take them humility on top of it. And whenever we have an opportunity, we have to give back. And that giving back since I was a child, that is what my parents gave the foundation. And that is where I am here speaking, and we are making the difference in the community. And hope this is how we are making a difference in our country, making India better every day.
every seed you have sown will grow into a big tree and will further give fruits, which will
Yeah,
give more trees. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you for everything that you're doing, Kripa. We are proud and honored to hear about that. So thank you for joining this LinkedIn live with us, and thank you for Kalki too. She dropped. I can understand that she had time constraints. Thank you to both of you. It was a wonderful conversation that I had with you. It was my pleasure to have that conversation with you. Said that we'll end this LinkedIn live here. Thank you again, Krupa. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. See you at Bengaluru Dreamin.
Thank you. Looking
Thank you.
forward.
Thank you. Thank you.